Hi, and welcome to Transitional Changes Mission podcast show. This is your host, Queen Summers.
And your host, King Summers.
Good evening, and welcome once again to listening to our show. And we also would like to say hello to all the new listeners out there who's tuning in this evening with us. We'd like to welcome you. And also, welcome back to all the others who love listening to our show. We want to thank you so much for all of your listeners and downloads and shares and likes and loves. We are truly appreciative.
Thank you for tuning in to this exciting show. This episode here, man, we are doing it in reflecting of the 2020.
Yes.
What a year.
What a year.
And talking about the previous holidays, we are almost there at the end. One more holiday to celebrate. But some are still in festivities of their holiday, like Kwanzaa. I give our shout outs to the enjoyment of Kwanzaa, which is one of the most beautiful holidays for the African Americans. Me, myself, being an African American, I have studied this tradition of Kwanzaa, and it is celebrated from December 26th, January the 1st.
That's right.
If you want to take some time out to learn about Kwanzaa, you are greatly appreciated. Started back in 1966. It is an African harvest festival tradition coming from various parts of Africa and has been brought over here to the United States back in 1966. It's a lot more history with it, and they are enjoying their festivities and celebration.
Yes.
Transitional changes celebrate with.
Yes.
And to start out, why do New Year's resolutions fail?
Oh, that's a good question, King. The reasons are many and common to all. It's tough to change in priorities. Maybe we don't prepare thoroughly, or we don't get enough support. Perhaps there are too many demands on our time and we simply forget. Or we are tempted by stronger desires. Maybe the leap we are trying to take is too big, or more of a fantasy than a practical reality. For all these reasons and so much more, our resolutions fall by the wayside. Changing habits is never easy because by their nature, they are ingrained in us until they have become automatic reflexes. It's easy to mindlessly reach for snacks when we're bored or sit down after dinner rather than go for a walk if that's how we've done things for years. The key to ending unhealthy habits is developing a skill called mindfulness.
Wow. So that leads to me to ask, are you ready for the New Year's? I know transitional changes. Our baby is stepping into being 5 years old.
That's right.
So we are here to talk about on this episode some of the resolutions that transitional changes will be on and tell y'all about our goals because we would need your support. Without your support, we are not here.
That's right. And we'll also be talking about mindfulness because mindfulness means being fully aware of what is happening at this very moment. And one of the ways of maintaining this awareness is through mindful meditation. In practical terms, mindfulness meditation involves sitting quietly and focusing the mind on one thing, often the feel or sound of one's breath. Then, as thoughts enter the mind, the idea is to take notice of the thoughts, but not react to them. Simply return the focus to the breath. On the surface, it's a simple technique, but it's a skill that takes time to learn. Yet, once mastered, mindfulness can have powerful effects, as a growing number of studies have shown. Why does mindfulness work? The reason mindfulness meditation helps is because most of us are worriers. Our minds wander about worrying about the future or stressing about the past. Our internal dialogue is scattered, critical, and often judgmental, which undermines our progress. And what that means is that we are not grounded and present in the moment. We are not fully aware of what we are doing or experiencing or how we feel about it. So mindfulness meditation is not about emptying your mind, achieving bliss, or avoiding stress or pain. It is a practice that helps you to be with yourself and be in the world without fear.
Wow, and to be in this world at this time without fear and be filled up with happiness, what Transitional Changes is praying to influence you to do. It's all kind of ways, just like Queen Summers was just explaining, to help your internal organs and yourself and your spirit and soul. Some of those ways of your ways that you think about in your reality or your unconsciousness, people do not sometimes pay attention to it more than they're conscious. But these same effects that comes out of your mouth, your body language, the way that you express yourself or do things throughout your day does have a serious effect in your life in the present, as well as your unconsciousness. Now, when you come to your unconsciousness, if some people do not understand how does that turn things inside of you to where it can hurt you or help you, it's one of the first steps of trying to transition yourself to being happy all the time. Once you fix your inside, it reflects to the outside. And one of the ways to fix or start fixing your unconsciousness is when you reflect on memories, try to look at those memories with emotions of being happy. Look at them in a negative way, your body reacts to it as being, we messed up somewhere.
Right.
So if you learn how to focus on those thoughts when they come to your head in the milliseconds, stop them for a minute if they always been conditioned to think of negative or looking for mistakes. Look at them for no mistakes at all times, because you yourself is a perfect self inside of you. So as this year goes to the past, New Year's.
Yes, 2021.
Let's take the time out with this show here and reflect back on the year of 2020.
That's right. So when we slow down our minds and focus on now, we are instantly aware of how we feel and what we're doing. In that moment of self-awareness, we can choose how we behave and respond. We increase our effectiveness. We become the master of our thought and emotions and the conscious conductor of each moment. When it comes to making a change and breaking old habits, that's a powerful position to take, wouldn't you say?
Yes, my queen.
All right. So those who regularly practice mindfulness say it does more than just relax them during the meditation itself. Over time, they begin transferring the mindfulness technique of quieting the mind into their thought processes throughout the day. Mindfulness forces us to be aware of what's happening right now, to fully experience the moment and not judge it. While that sounds simple enough, it's not easy to do, particularly when our minds are used to multitasking or focusing on several things at once. Usually our minds are worrying about the future or the past, or criticizing something, or wanting something, or judging something. But what that means is we're not really awake to the moments of our life. We're just getting ready for the next thing. Instead of enjoying what we're eating, for example, we're thinking about what we're going to do after we eat. And we miss a lot.
Yes, my people. And that's why we're here. And we pray that this influence you to slow down and think. Because we all got to go into this 2021 happy. So me and Queen Summers here is having a discussion about how to help others influence themselves to go into 2021. Because we can't do it by ourselves. And that's one strong emotion to hold together. United we stand, united we fall. And yes, if you caught what I just said, I was just saying that we rise up together and become united. As soon as some extraordinary day might come, just like this pandemic has came, we shall fall together, not divided. So the reasons why I'm just saying that's just one emotion that you can correct in your mind state to start this movement of being happiness. But it's always good to reflect back. Be happy about the events that you have done. Because it looks like Queen Summers was trying to explain about slowing down. If you haven't had any extraordinary or crazy events in your lifetime, and I would say this, that it will help you understand how to slow life down. I remember talking to a senior up in Cleveland, Ohio. He came out of nowhere. He was a Vietnam vet. And I was just talking with him, having a great discussion. And I said, man, people live so fast now. You probably don't heard this phase too. He said, man, ain't nobody living fast. He said, time's still doing the same time it always been. It's just that what you got going on in your life or what your mind is going through, it has speeded up time like you're running out of time. There's plenty of time to reflect back and turn those negative thoughts of whatever happened this year to a positive thought. Because one of the greatest things about slowing down, if you ever been able to slow down to what when you trying to grasp on to the last thing that a human being got, and that is life, therefore nothing else in your state of mind matters.
And by focusing only on this moment right now, it gives our minds a chance to take a break and reset themselves. It's like defragmenting the computer or tuning an instrument. It just kind of settles you back into something that is more real so that those moments carry on. Mindfulness also urges us not to react to thoughts that enter the mind of meditation. When thoughts begin to creep in and distract instead of getting irritated, the idea is to simply notice the thoughts, send them away gently, and refocus on the breath. With enough practice, this ability not to judge or react to intruding thoughts becomes a habit in itself. Many of us, especially those who have battled with depression or anxiety, they have a loop of negative self-talk playing in their heads, even when many of the worries are neither helpful nor even true. Practicing mindful meditation can allow us to take a break from those thoughts and refocus so that when negative thoughts begin again, they can be seen more clearly for what they are. So, mindfulness is a way to come back. We can say to ourselves, you don't need to fix everything. The concept I like to think about is that the mind is going to pump thoughts the way the heart pumps blood. We can't stop our thoughts. We just don't need to take all of them so seriously. They're just thoughts, and they're constantly changing.
Yes, and they changing and transitioning and then become a mission for you to try to embrace it. And to embrace it, meaning to reflect, to embrace time. As we reflect back on 2020, as I help you reflect back, I'm always going to bring you back to the key point. Now, I got a question here to ask the audience. What was you doing last year at this time, on December the 30th?
Yes, I remember I was looking for a preschool for our daughter to attend and going through the paperwork and the motions and the emotions and the anxiety, only for her to end up being homeschooled, with me being the teacher.
I remember I have slowed down tremendously because it's entertaining to me. TV is just an entertaining item. What I look at the news as, and CNN and all of them, they be pumping this pandemic, and I think that was the start of everything. But I also remember what took over that was Kwanzaa.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, we were still celebrating Kwanzaa. And we were still, as I remember, I was still enjoying the pretty memories that I locked in my mind of how happy my princess was and my whole household. Continue to reflect back on December the 30th. Also was getting ready for that New Year's. Like I said to the audience, I always will bring you back what I think about 24/7. My life has been slowed down. At one point, I had a terrible incident that happened to me, and I survived, but I remember laying on that bed, and I remember everything goes out the door at that time. When you get a mixture of remembering of thoughts, of trying to reflect the past, it converted me at that time afterwards to grasp what is important to me just as well when I was trying to grasp it when I was in the bed. And that was the same as I do every day. And what I'm trying to promote to everybody. If you are here on December the 30th, you are blessed.
That's
Out
right.
of everything that you might have lost for whatever you have gained, you are still breathing and having an awesome purpose that is carrying on to that 2021. You are a part of history.
That's right. And if you are enjoying the show tonight, please share us, like us, follow us, subscribe to us